It's 9:36 now. This is Delaware. I'm Peter MacArthur, and thanks for joining us this morning. Remember, a little bit over a week ago, the January jobs report came out and blew a lot of minds, fooled a lot of so-called experts. And so we wanted to have on, as we do frequently, Chris Burkhart, Placer Staffing, to tell us some of his thoughts on what's happening in the job market right now. First of all, Chris, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, always. So this jobs report comes out, and it was far more positive a result, Chris, than a lot of people thought. What do you think that means on the recovery for the job market?
So, Pete, even with all that Omicron stuff that happened in January, there was almost 500,000 jobs created, 467,000.
Yeah,
it's pretty substantial considering the amount of illness during the month and how that impacted hiring and job seekers. What's really kind of neat, though, is unemployment bumped up just a touch, and that's not. Why is that good news? Well, that means that a lot of workers, even with Omicron, went back to work or went back to look for work in the month of January.
Yeah, and conversely, when it goes down, that's not always a good thing, because it can mean, especially in times of trouble, if you will, that people are bailing out of the market altogether and giving up on looking for a job. So I like the clarification on that. We have Omicron that seems to be dropping off, Chris, and now we have masks dropping away to some degree anyway. The mask mandate here in Delaware expired last week. What about the impact of that for someone looking for a job now?
Well, Pete, don't we all long for some normalcy?
Yes.
I mean, I think we all do.
Yes.
And really, to my professional surprise, this shift and change just solicits polarizing responses. You've got folks that are saying, finally, we can take these masks off. But then if you reflect on folks that have at-risk family members or young children that have not yet been vaccinated, there's a lot of concern. So policy and leadership shifted opinions, and I think it's going to take a long time for the rest of us, the public, to catch up. However, the good news is I don't know if you can just picture a job seeker wearing a mask, being socially distanced, maybe even being on Zoom. It is so much harder to interview with all this stuff. It will be nice for people to interview in a more traditional way.
And you figure from the employer side of things, there are some elements of relief as well that come with this, right?
Well, I think it is. It sounds like that on the surface.
Yeah.
But when you start soliciting employee opinion, you've got folks that still want to wear masks, and you got folks that are saying, hey, we should have independence here and have a choice. So I think it's going to take time, Pete, for this to kind of wash out and for everybody to get comforted again. It's not the first time it's dropped, and of course it came back. And I think we all remember that.
I sense, Chris, that you have employers out there who, over the course of this almost 2 years now, since we've been dealing with the pandemic, have adapted their business models to some degree to handle what employees want more, and some others that are just sticking, I think, traditional to what they've done foundationally, because they figure once the pandemic goes away, then they can get back to business as usual. So you got maybe a little bit of a mixed bag out there in that respect among employers.
If they both wait long enough, they'll both be right? So for right now, if you want talent, you've got to adapt and change and add benefits. And as I think I'm the flexibility guy, right?
Yes.
You got to give your employees flexibility. But eventually, it just ebbs and flows. Interest rates go up. Maybe the economy gets a little bit softer. And then those firms think they don't have to do stuff.
Yeah.
But it is hard to hire right now if you're not adapting to the needs of an employee.
Yeah, it's all fresh. So here's kind of the news you can use part of all this, Chris. We talked about the jobs report. Really, really good. The opportunities that are obviously out there. Some of the pullback of restrictions. So if that is reinvigorating someone to look for a job right now, what is your best lines of advice in terms of where to start a search, where to look, and what jobs they might want to look at?
So first things, Pete, this is my personal advice that I give, that I've been giving for, too many decades. So this is straight from the heart and what I really start with everyone. So it's a great time for the job seeker to do some preparation, to learn how to find out where they want to work. Everybody will hire you. So I thought I'd share this advice. First of all, your goal should be to create 2 or 3 job offers at the same time. the reality of that's very difficult. And lots of folks have regrets that they can't go interview for that other job they want because they've got an offer in hand. So my advice is this: make a list of places you'd like to work. Second thing, talk to your friends and family and your network about companies and jobs. Where do they like their jobs? Always reflect on the kind of work you do, the skills you have. Then you can go online and look on job boards to find out more information on companies. But I try to help people get a list of 5 to 10 companies to start their search, as most people only do 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's a great point. Before I let you go, were you surprised by the jobs report in terms of the numbers in the positive direction?
Do you know, Pete, I was not.
Yeah.
And a lot of times our industry is really that canary in the coal mine. And we saw a lot of demand still. There were certainly huge challenges because you couldn't get people together. Someone was sick. But you could see that the demand and a lot of this carried forward from early December when hiring was just roaring.
Right. I also want to leave folks with a place to turn initially. So can you tell us about myplacers.com, just a quick bit?
Absolutely. If you are a job seeker, we're here to help you as a career agent, to help you figure out where you'd like to work and to get you prepared. And if you're an organization looking to hire, as most of you are, Placers is a great resource to help you deliver on that.
And locally based. Chris Burkhardt, Placer Staffing in Newark. As always, sir, a great exchange. I enjoy the information, and I appreciate you being here, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Pete. Have a great day.
You too. Chris Burkhardt from Placer Staffing here on Delaware. On this Thursday, it is February 17th.